Good afternoon, this is Mr. Bechtold. Today is your first flipped lesson of this grading period. Today is Monday, I believe it's March the 11th, and we are going to show or introduce a new term called functions. Currently you have solved adding cells, being cell reference, by using a formula. In this case here, if you kind of take a look here, I'm going to go ahead and click on cell B11. If we wanted to add cells C3, C4, C5, C6, and C7, in the past we merely started out with a plus, and then we started C3 plus C4 plus C5 plus C6 plus C7. And that's called a formula. And that works well for anywhere from a half a dozen to a dozen cells when you're adding cells. But if you had 1,100 or 2,000 or 10,000 cells that you needed to add, and they were all together, in this case here, C3 through C7, I think we called that adjacent. As long as they're not non-adjacent cells, if they're all adjacent cells, then we can use a function. To start out a function out, you'll go equal, equal, and then the name of the function. In our case, it's going to be sum, beginning parenthesis, and then the beginning cell, which for us is going to be C3, then colon, and then it's going to be C7 in parenthesis. So in this case, equal sum, beginning parenthesis, the first cell, colon, the last cell, and then a parenthesis. So in our case, equal sum, beginning parenthesis, C3 colon, C7, and then when we hit enter, you can see that we get 6450. So if we went ahead and did the following up here, it would merely be, and we'll keep everything kind of together here, we'll go with a left hand justified. We're going to go, as in this case, plus C, C3, plus C4, plus C5, plus C6, plus C7. Oops, what did we miss here? So we're going to take a look here and see what we missed. Plus C3, plus C4, plus C5, plus, oh, we got an equal sign in there. So make sure we have a plus. Oops, we don't need that C9, so we're just going to get rid of that, and then we're going to hit enter. And then for our function, equal sum, and then in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight the cells that I want in parentheses, and then hit. So over here, we're going to use our formula. Remember, our formula begins with a plus, and then I'm just going to do the point and click method and select each cell that we want to add. And then we want to keep that consistent, so we are going to go with that. And then if we were using a function, it would start out with an equal sum, beginning parenthesis. In this case, I'm just going to copy them in parenthesis. And then once again, I'm going to use the format painter just to keep my formatting. So, in summary, if we want to use a formula for Jerry Lewis, we are just going to go plus. Once again, I'm just going to use the point and click method to add these cells in a formula. Notice it always started, always started with a plus. And then if I wanted to use a function, equals sum, in this case I'm just going to go ahead and highlight what I want to add. And we came up with the same amount. I just use the format painter to keep the formatting the same. So here, if I want to add this row, I'm just going to go plus, and then just once again select the cells that I want to add, hit enter, and if I want to use a function, equal sum, and then I'm going to go ahead and highlight them in parentheses, and once again I just use the format painter to keep the formatting the same. And that's the end of this. Once again, I would say this is Project 5 and my last name if I was turning it in, making sure that it was in Formula View, making sure it was uploaded and saved as a PDF, making sure that my columns were wide enough that I could read them. Once again, if I want Formula View, and I'm going to type that in here, if I want to see formula view, the best way for me to see that is the control key plus that little tilde key, and that gives me the formula view. And so in this case, if I do that, you can see the formulas. This case, I would have to make that column a little wider, and then that's what I would actually turn in. If I want to go back to what I had, then I can go ahead and click on that. And that is the end of this flip lesson, and hopefully you can open up now Project 5 and complete Project 5 and then upload it to Shobi. Have a wonderful day.